case you're wondering, I set up the cameras prior, and then when I get on stream, they tend to bug out. But if I do it when I'm streaming, it usually works better. They don't tend to fuck out. So there you go. What do we got going on here, Shark World? Cheese bags. Fantastic stuff. Good evening, Lord Shader, to you. Wolfgar, son of Bjorngar. Well, isn't that beautifully timed? G'day, E. Crippler. So here's my Wolfgar attempted sculpt. G'day, Furrow Roach. I reckon it gets by. I reckon he's up the back, so he's not going to be in everyone's eye line to begin with. I reckon he gets by. G'day, Squinty McTwo. It is, in fact, morning for me, and I'm not that young. But appreciate the sentiment. We're going to be able to test out our black painting on this guy. So this is a 3D print. Look at that, it's good quality. Impressive stuff. Yeah, Lord Shader, so I think the benefit is twofold. One, when you paint over a white, you will get a more vibrant colour than when you paint over a black. The second is a psychological thing for me. When I'm looking at the model with a zenithal prime, it lets me see the values much better and understand all of the volumes. So it just means I can get a bit better sense of the model before I sort of start painting. Yeah, I mean, some people use the zenithal prime as a part of their process. I am not one of those people, and I can explain why, if you would like to hear why. I'm going to tell you anyway. So when a lot of people use airbrush prime and then use thin layers, translucent layers over the top to kind of cheat the shadows and highlights. It works really well, it's awesome. But what it doesn't let you do is go in and change something and be able to easily replicate that. So as soon as you go in with a brush, you change all of the values, everything becomes much more contrasted, and so you then lose the whole thing, the reason you did it in the first place, which is because you wanted smooth blends and shit. G'day, Topulus. Teal Sequoia, I'm doing very well, mate. Yes, so the books that I'm referring to are done by a guy called R.A. Salvatore. They're basically D&D books about adventuring party of friends. And each one of them's a trope, really. Back before the tropes were considered shootouts. Wolfgar's a barbarian. He wields a magical warhammer. Katie Bree's a human warrior that's actually the daughter of Bruenor, the dwarf, adoptive daughter. Yeah, it's good. Wolfgar's not a stand-in. Wolfgar's a model that I sort of sculpted pretty poorly. You and me both, friends. You and me both. Alright, I'm actually just going to take some quick photos. I've got my Instagram page that I've got to do some explanations on, so I'm just going to take these photos. Sorry, friends. G'day, Rowie. No, they're not from a set, mate. They're all different manufacturers. So there's 4 different manufacturers. 4 different manufacturers in this piece. So it's not a set. It's one that I've created from my brains. Alright, photo's done. So I've got the base here. I just thought I'd... Topulous. How good was it, eh? It's not the last episode, that's next week. And I am pinging. Hey, Paul. Alright, so here's the base. I just thought I'd bring this, and this will probably not work all that well, but I'll just explain what's going on with the base. So, when I'm doing natural bases like this, I use bits of cork that I got from a model train shop, bits of bark that I got from the garden out the front of my house. This is a bit of a tree stick that I found. This is a bit of a stick that I found. These are from what's that guy's name from fucking Poland who does the sculpting? Skibor bases, Skibor stuff. And I had some from my Kingdom Death. That's the base from Eileen. That's the base from a different model that I didn't use and I then used in here. This is a cake pillar that I got from a craft shop. And then these are tree branches from other sculpts. So the first stage is just gluing all the things down and getting a bit of an idea where they are. The second thing I do is I use a 2-part putty, but I use a thing called Knead It, which I buy from a hardware store. It actually cures in about 5 minutes, and it's really awesome. So what I tend to do is just mix up about a centimetre's worth of the resin of the 2-part putty real quick, and then smush it on, use a sculpting tool to just shape it, and it very quickly fills the space with some irregularities, and yeah, works fine. So back here you can see I've filled up some of the stuff with just bits of kids' toys, and this is to fill the gap. So that needed right. It is rock solid. It dries super hard. I think they actually use it in like plumbing for what they use it for, to fill gaps in shit. So not quite finished with the base yet. I've got to do some sculpting and stuff. Anyway, so the next step was I then glued down little rocks. So I think I talked about scale contrast before on bases, and so you need to have a lot of different layers of scales. So if you see one of the biggest weaknesses on bases, I'm very guilty of this as well, is you just have one scale, and by that I mean just they're all the same. You need to have varying sizes of textures, varying sizes of rocks, and lots of heights, depths to make a good base. So the final step that I've done there is I've painted this shit, Liquitex Natural Sand Texture Gel, all over the sculpted stuff, the various heights, and that is what's given a texture here. It's pretty hard to see, but yeah, it's basically a sandy texture. So that's where I'm at the moment. Here's some of the sandy texture still drying up here. So where I'm at next is I've got to sculpt these roots into the base. I'm going to have these roots come down a fair bit further. I'm going to fill in the top of this column. I decided I wanted to trim that column down, and got a bit of sculpting to do on this tree, and then I think that's probably about it. Oh, and I'm going to fill a few more gaps down here just underneath so that it doesn't look quite as naff there. Same with this here, I'll just have that come down a little bit. Yeah, so, and then the final step will be PVA glue. So I want to seal all of the bark, the trees and the cork with PVA glue watered down. I don't know whether that's a step that other people do. I always do it because I feel like it just gives a better surface for the paint to adhere to. Yeah, I always do it, and I think it's worthwhile. So, but a lot of this space is going to be covered in snow. It's going to be Icewind Dale, so we're going to have snow from the tops dropping down, dropping on all of these. Should be good. So yeah, that's the base. There's not a lot of work in that actually. I mean, it looks like it's a lot of work, but I've probably spent about an hour on it, about 2 hours on it, max. The thing is just, I spent probably more time just like mucking around with the placement of the models and like grabbing bits of cork and putting them down, grabbing bits of bark and stuff, and just, yeah, it slowly organically built up. This was the first piece that I put down, and then I put Bruinor here, and I was like, cool, and then I put Regus up here, and I was like, cool, and then sort of that gave me a bit more of a concept. Cool, I've got those two placed, and then you do the rest of it. Yeah, and it's going to be black. It's going to be black base. I'm going to do some, yeah, just black. I could try. I'm going to keep sanding a few little areas, a little bit. I've got a little sander that I want to sand some stuff like here. That can be sanded. Yeah, so it's going okay. And so we commence with Caddy Bree. So this stage, we're all full of possibility, right? We're excitable, we're full of possibility. I remember when we were at full of possibility with this girl about a week ago. So my plan is to paint a few of the models on stream, not all of them, because I've got so much other time that I want to spend painting, and I don't want to not paint. So I'm gonna fucking paint when I feel like painting, but I'll keep a few of them on stream. I don't think everyone wants to see me streaming every single day, mate. Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask myself is about the light source. What light source do I want to have? And for a model, a diorama like this, it's very rare for me to not just do a natural sunlight sort of light source, so the top down. And the second thing I think about is what's the atmosphere, so it's going to be very cold colours. That's not a bad idea, Topulus. That's an interesting idea. So if we did sunrise coming from the left and a bit colder on the right side of all of the models, that could be cool. E Crippler, I'm gonna tell that story one time soon on this stream. I haven't told it yet. Aquaman. Yeah, the shadows could be cool. One of my next, after I finish this project, and maybe Camelot, I'm gonna do some. I want to do some of that lighting a lot of guys are doing. So, all right, let's consider the colors. So I want to keep the color palette relatively cool across the whole piece. Cold colors, icy sort of colors, makes sense given that they're in Icewind Dale. So we won't have any bright colours. We'll stick with the purples and the blues and the greens, dark greens. No, we're not going to do a night scene for a couple of reasons. I am not good enough. And it's hard. You've got to stay very cognizant of the whole piece. So this is a thing I'll probably talk about a lot as I'm painting this model. Is we have 6 different models that are all fighting for attention, and we have a story that ties them all together, but it's very hard to keep it looking like one cohesive piece if you have too many things grabbing your attention. So we want to try and focus on keeping it simple, but have and have a cohesive feel without dragging you too far away into looking at different elements. My girlfriend and I, we tried very hard to include Norway in our last trip overseas because we desperately want to see the Aurora Borealis. I've never seen it in real life, but we will at some point. Oops. Yeah, I'd absolutely love to see it. One day. One day we will. So I'm just grabbing a shit ton of colours here because I don't really know what I'm doing. And we're just gonna like experiment. Oh, g'day Tigger. How you going, champion? How's Winnie? Hey, awesome. Go Canada. So one of the ways I'm going to represent it being cold in this environment is just adding a little hint of blue in just about every colour I paint. Why is this fucking struggling to focus so much? I think I know what it is. Time to swap the cardboard. Catch it. I got off stream last night. I did some streaming last night my time. Went to bed. And I got stuck in a YouTube rabbit hole. I do that sometimes. And last night what I ended up watching was Avengers Endgame reactions. People taking their phones in and recording the cinemas, the sounds of the cinemas during Avengers Endgame. I went to see it on opening day as well, which meant I saw it before most people in the world, because Australia. And the cinema was packed, absolutely packed, and they went bonkers. Which was really cool. But I was just thinking back as I was watching that video about times I've been really genuinely moved or excited during movies. And that movie made me be genuinely excited and moved about 5 times. So good, right? The cinema went absolutely crazy. The whole cinema. And I was one of them. I'll tell you one where the crowd didn't go as crazy as they probably should have. Was when Cap said "Hail Hydra" in the elevator. Oh, fuck me. Like, the crowd laughed, but I don't think the crowd understood how much the fandom had lost their shit at that. Oh! G'day, Tio Zebra. Cheers to you, mate. It is an amazing place, Australia. Highly recommend. Sunny skin tone. Thanks, E. Crippler. Oh, hello, Kira from Italy. Oh, Squinty, that's a very broad question, mate, with a lot of answers. Just pick one that has a nice mixture of... Ah, thank you. Yeah, it has a nice mixture of different surfaces like skin, leather, metal, just so you can get a feel for painting all of those things at a different scale. I wouldn't recommend one of those anatomic busts that's just like skin tone. They're fun to paint, but I feel like when you're first trying out, you want to get a bit of a handle on the scale. Oh, thanks, K-Sauce. Tio, that's a good question, mate. It influenced me in a little way, but I think when I took their class, I was already pretty comfortable with my style and how I did things. So they didn't really influence me that much, other than just thinking about some colours in a different way. But it was fun experiment being in their class. I really enjoyed the way they approach things. Papa Jumbo was an early bust I painted actually. It's a really good, fun one to paint, but I think it's really important to paint for enjoyment. When you're painting for something, like for a game, for an army, for a thing, you're focusing on the result. G'day, Bazoid. But when you paint something like this scale, you're not doing it for anything. You're doing it to enjoy the painting. There's no ulterior motive. I mean, you might enter it in a competition, right? But you're painting it purely for painting's sake. And so I think that mindset change just means you enjoy it more. I certainly do anyway. There's so many good busts out in the world now. Like 5 years ago, there wasn't as many manufacturers as there is now. Like, it's just awesome. Why is my camera struggling so much with this model? It's peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time. The one I painted, Farzoid. Ah, Cara, yeah. She's great. She's a awesome painter, very helpful. She and I have extremely different approaches to painting. Yeah, she's awesome. G'day, White Wolf. Huh, thanks mate. Yeah, it was a fun bus to paint. Quite relaxing. Enjoyed it a lot. Enjoyed it a lot. Oh, g'day Kutuan Nwana. Whoops. That's cool, mate. Good one, Squinty. I used to play games with a guy called Squinty. Obviously it wasn't his real name, that was his nickname. We used to call him Squinty. And we all disliked him. He was fine. But we just disliked him. Because that's what you do. And we played this game once. We used to play weekly and he used to come along most of the time, but we played this game once which was called Colt Express. And in Colt Express you play as train robbers set in the Wild West, and you're trying to rob a train, rob all the people on the train, and you each play different robbers and you're all looking out for yourself. And it's a programming game, so that means you play out your turn in advance without knowing. You program your actions for the turn at the start of each round. So you never really know exactly what you're going to do, but you have pretty much 4 choices based on the cards you have in your hand. One is you can move to the top, up or down. So if you're on top of the train, you can move down. If you're at the bottom of the train, you can move up. You can move from one carriage to the next carriage. You can punch or shoot someone, or you can pick up loot that's on the ground. So you have to punch people to get the loot from them. In some cases there's loot on the ground. Anyway, it's a real super simple game, right? But it's fucking hilarious because you'll end up doing stuff that you didn't expect to do because someone else's action earlier in the turn is completely different. So you get to these points where you're like, well, guess I'm going up to the top of the train, but you really don't want to because there's a dude up the top there and you literally know that he's just going to shoot. Yeah, it's a cardboard train. It's fucking great. It's classic. So we're playing this game with Squinty, right? And no one was intentionally picking on him. So when you get shot, you add a bullet card. You add a bullet card to your deck, and you shuffle your deck each round, and you draw out 5 cards or 6 cards, or whatever. And you choose those from your actions from those cards. So in this one game that we played with Squinty, there was like 8 players, and it didn't matter what Squinty did. Like he'd programmed his actions. Somehow, every time it came around to a person who had a gun, a shot, they shot Squinty. The rules are you can only shoot the person that's like closest to you, and like there's 8 players, and every time someone shot a bullet, it ended up in Squinty. So we've played that game, and like normally you'd get maybe 2 or 3 bullets at best. He got shot 16 times, and in the last turn of the game, he drew his deck of cards to choose his actions, and he got 6 bullets. So he literally did nothing. It was the fucking best. I loved it so much. I don't have a particular list of colours, no. I just raw dog it, mate. Play by feel. Sometimes I use specific colours, other times I use different colours. That was a glorious, glorious moment. Skin airbrushing and airbrushing in general, it's just a practice. There's no quick fix. I can get really, really good control over my airbrush on really small surfaces, but that's because I've been doing it for a long time. The answer to your question is not really leaving certain spots. I tend to vary depending on what I want to do. Sometimes I'll leave the previous work. Other times I will cover it over. But as a general rule, yeah, I would leave some of the existing layer, but it depends if you're doing shadows or lights. Yeah, I hope so, mate. I hope it comes out alright. It's very early days. Oh, good, Ray. Yeah, it is hard. I'm sure I make it look pretty easy, but practice, 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 mate. You'll be fine. You can use thin down ink. You can use paint. You can use contrast paints, washes. Well, that's the hope, Fazoid, but we don't know, mate. Could be a disaster. We hope for the best. Prepare for the worst. Nice. Nice. It's probably my weakness, Fazoid. I probably use too many vibrant colours. to cover up my weaknesses as a painter. Well, the fun question, it does depend on the project. Usually, pretty limited preparation. I have not really done anything on this model other than choose the models that I was going to use. That was the only preparation I did. I just started building the base. No plans, just grab stuff out of my box and hope for the best. Painting, I haven't even thought about it. The only thing I thought about was this morning. Colours. Yeah, there is exceptions to that. There has been times where I have done a lot of preparation. This is just not one of those times. Well, the fairy diorama was just all unplanned. I just grabbed heaps of different fairy models that I liked and smushed them together. Yeah. I mean, the composition side of things is one part of it, but the painting side is made up as you go along. And that's why you'll see me change things throughout the process of painting my models, because I realise things don't work, things that I initially tried to do aren't working, need to change that up, come up with a different concept for this, X, Y, Z. So what I would suggest, mate, so there's two things I talk about when it comes to painting in terms of learning and improving. The first is the skill ceiling, the second is the knowledge ceiling. So the skill ceiling is when your brush skills and your ability to mix paint and your ability to understand the technical composition of the paint is skill ceiling, and then your knowledge ceiling is the second ceiling. So it sounds like to me that you need to take a class with a painter, sign up for a Patreon, do some online learning, because if you can improve your knowledge, that then gives you something to aspire to with your skill set. Hey CHK, how are you, Tony? I also loved your latest elves, mate. I was looking at them this morning in amazement. Of course, Tio, please link away the colour zones of the face. camera is struggling today. Let's see if we can just... Yeah, that'll be better. We're in complete and total sketching mode, friends, in case you hadn't twigged on that. G'day, Necromancer. Not much is up today, mate. Not yet anyway. Too early. Too early for much to be happening. This is the first model from my crazy diorama. Let me see if I'll bring it up on screen actually. Bring up a picture of it on screen so everyone can see what it looks like. I think this is what it is still. Hey, there you go. That's what I'm working on. It's going to be pretty elaborate. Based on a book series. It is CHK. It's actually from a book series by an author called R.A. Salvatore. They are heroes from a book series I read when I was about 15. Maybe even younger, I reckon. Maybe even younger. Ah, Lopez is back. Sunday morning, mate. Fantastic. Tremendous. Good work, little man. Hey, Phoenix! Hey, champion! What's going on? For everyone that's just joined from Phoenix's raid, this is what I'm working on at the moment. It's a project of significant size. Haha, awesome. Yes, so that's what we're doing. You shouldn't have to wait too long, pal. Last project I did of this scale was Wizard of Oz, and I did that in 8 days. This one will not be as quick though. It is Sunday morning, yes. Hey, Flickstar! Thanks, mate. Yeah, that's fair enough. Did he tell you to use the wrong your as well, or? Was that just your special? Rumble. Oh, g'day, Rhino72. The man, the myth, the legend. Guy that paints for judgment. So good. We're doing. Oh, thanks, Cthulhu. That's awesome, mate. We're doing I think it was Topulus came up with this idea, and I loved it. I'm doing well, Inky John. I absolutely love this idea. So we're going to do a sunrise and a cold nights thing on my whole project. So this is the project. So we're going to have Caddy Bree standing there in the middle. And I just got to look at it and make sure I got the right. She's sort of more like that. Yeah, I don't want it to be too much of the shadow. I want it to be a little bit more sunrise rather. So just tweak. It is Sunday morning, mate, and I'm painting that diorama that I just had on screen. This is a model called Eileen from Nocturna Models. She's playing the part of Caddy Bree from R.A. Salvatore's seminal book series in my life. Can someone tell me what the name of the first 3 books is? Like the actual name of the trilogy? Is it the Dark Elf trilogy? Or because I think that's the... Don't remember. I'm not going to do too much more on that because this is the angle, Deno. This is the angle, mate. Stay focused. So this stage is just all sketching at the moment. We're just mucking around with colours, giving some shape to what it's going to end up like. But we'll do a lot of tweaking with the airbrush and a lot of tweaking with different colours over the next, I don't know, day. I am streaming again tomorrow night, friends. So depending on how progressed this is, we may end up starting another model from the diorama. Who knows? Alright, so I don't use a lot of scale 75 paints, but there is a couple that I use. One of them is an orange. So this is the orange. Hello, Xtab. Perfect. No, not the chronological one, the Crystal Shard, Streams of Silver, Halfling's Gem. That one. Yes, what were your thoughts, mate? On Xtab's thoughts? Icewind Dale, perfect. Oh look mate, there's still some saturation in it, isn't there? I'll grab her out actually, she's just up there. No. But I do think it's more desaturated than stuff I normally paint. So that's an absolute win. I see this as an absolute win! Yeah, it's still, I think it's more desaturated than I'd normally do. So, haven't added the glue, haven't added the blood effects yet, nor have I glued it into the base. There you go. Yes, I do love me some Salvatore. Oh yeah, those pictures are just with my phone, and as is often the case with the phone, picks it, pumps up the saturation and the contrast and makes it look better. But yeah, it's pretty desaturated, I think, for me anyway. I do love me some Brandon Sanderson, mate. I became a fan of his after he finished the Wheel of Time series. Well, actually, after I found out he was finishing the Wheel of Time series, so I went out and bought Mistborn. I think it was around the same time, anyway. And yeah, love Mistborn. Absolutely huge fan of it. The Way of Kings series is on my list of books to read, but I have not read it as yet. I've heard it's good, but I've done enough waiting in my life after the Wheel of Time, so I decided to wait until he's released most of them, and then I'll start reading them. But Mistborn was... I would love to. Pop it in the chat, mate. Let's bring it up on screen and have a look. Just remember the rules of feedback, though. If you ask for feedback, it's going to be brutal, honest, and delivered with panache. Here we go. So, all right. So there's a lot of things I like. The general statement that I make to most people looking for feedback is you definitely need more contrast. So if you were to turn this into a grayscale version of the picture, which you can by using your phone, what you'll probably see is a very similar tone across the whole piece. You won't have any really high highlights other than maybe the cat's paws, and you won't have any deep shadows. And so what you're struggling with is having a focal point for the piece. The face has some nice little tones of red in it, which is great. There's clearly a little bit more contrast in the face than there is on the skin tone in general, but you need significantly more. You want people to be staring straight at the face, and then sort of have their eyes move around from there, because that's the focal point. I think you could definitely add more colour into your skin tone. Those little tones of red are the nicest parts of the skin, but you could add some other colours in there, some greens, some blues, some purples, whatever you want really, and that'll help add a bit more visual interest in what is essentially a very monotonous colour area. The horns don't look finished to me. They need more light areas, but I do like the way you've concentrated the highlights on top of the horns versus all over. So you're getting the right sort of feel, but you just haven't taken it far enough. The cat's great. I really like the cat actually. The white's too white. It looks out of place. It looks like it's the focal point. Like when I just sort of look back at it, that my eyes are drawn to the cat's paws. So I'd probably just tone those down a bit. But, and when I say that, I mean next time, don't fucking touch this. Just take it and learn from it. That's a cool job. But yeah, just the feedback I'm giving. Think about it for the next piece you paint, the next one after that, and so on. And the other piece of critique I would give you is that the eyes are not strong. You need to really drill down on the eyes, and they're really hard to paint right, don't get me wrong. I have to do them 3 or 4 times sometimes, but right now, like, eyes are windows to the soul, and when you don't get the eyes right, the piece loses that little bit of life. So I think if you got the eyes better, that would elevate the piece just by itself. The cat's eyes, I'm drawn more to the cat's eyes than I am to the dude's eyes. So there you go. Good job though, mate. Especially for your first bust. Condolences, hello. I just realised that I have unlimited points of Dano bucks. I have infinity points, so I can make myself sing a song. Infinity points! Take requests, friends, take requests. I can't believe I didn't know that before. Actually, I do owe Flick a free one. I promised him I'd give him a free one because he wasn't happy that I didn't sing the national anthem of the country that I've never been to. Get on the Terps, pal. Get amongst it. So, Flick, you can choose those points that I just spent, mate. What song would you like me to sing for you today? This is all for you, buddy. How's that song? I actually really like that song. Once upon a time I was falling in love. Now I'm only falling apart. There's nothing I can do. A total eclipse of the heart. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely of listening to the sound of my turn around. Bright eyes. Every now and then I fall apart. And I need you now tonight. And I need you more than ever. Good choice, Flick. Good choice. I will always be making it right. You'll never be wrong. Together we can take it to the end of the night. Your love is like a shadow of me all of the time. I don't know what to do. I'm all lost in the dark. I'm living in a powder keg that's giving off sparks. Hey Drax! Ah, Flickstar. You great man. Thanks, buddy. Oh, look. We want it to be a fun stream, friends. People who take themselves too seriously, those people are probably far better painters than me. Yeah, the paint cam's really struggling. I think this model's maybe just a smidge too small or something. Fades in and out. Another one I do know the words to. Thanks CHK, you're amazing, pal. See you soon. Ooh, I'm not familiar with that song, so if you're asking me to sing that song, I'll get to choose. I can't write down a list of every song I know the fucking lyrics to, mate. Come on now, that's ridiculous. I know. Look, I probably do know it if I heard it, but off the top of my head, no. Dr. Jones, calling Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, wake up now. It's a funny thing I actually talked about. There's a couple of streams ago. I don't really listen to that much music. I don't really like that much music. Like when I'm walking around the house, I don't have any music on. I know people that like get up and the first thing they do is turn songs on. Not me. Don't do that. But I have been around. My sister used to listen to a lot of music. My mum and dad used to listen to a lot of music. And where I worked early on, we used to have fucking the radio on all day. So I've got like a back catalogue of great radio tunes that pop up. And Flickster with the wrong yaw again. Someone linked this song in the chat. Let me go listen to it and see if I know it. I probably do know it, right? You're right, mate. I'm just teasing you. I don't care what yaw you use. I understood what you were saying. Nah. No idea. The first song that I had, the first song that's up on my next songs playlist is Kansas Carry On, Wayward Son. Carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more. Shakira. Evidently not. Oh, thanks, Tio Zebra. That's. Oh, that is painful to read, Cthulhu. That is painful, mate. Well done. Oh, there'll be some I'll know, Flick, and there'll be some I won't, mate. Sorry to disappoint. Oh, 'cause you gotta cut loose, foot loose. I love Kenny Loggins just from fucking Archer. I don't even like many of his songs. But because he's so fucking awesome on Archer, I'm like, K-Log. Oh, that's a good question, Xtab. For this one, it was the figure for Dritz that I saw, and I was like, that's awesome. That's obviously supposed to be Drist, but I'll just have to think about how I'm going to incorporate the other models, and so I started looking around for the other models, and it wasn't until I saw the Nocturnal model that I used for Regus that I was like, cool. I think I can find a model for each of the rest of them. The Regus one was the one that was sticking with me that I was struggling with. So that was the initial inspiration for that one. The elements was the same. It was the models themselves, but for Fairy Garden, it wasn't a specific model. It was just a concept of lots of fairies, because I know there's heaps of fairy models. And for Wizard of Oz, it was a piece of artwork that I saw actually. Not a miniature art, just a piece of artwork. Tim Minchin is from Australia, yes. Thanks, Farzoid, you're the best, mate. Nah, never heard of it. Yellow, oh yeah. I'm not that old, mate. Come on now. Oh, thanks, Tio. Awesome, mate. Appreciate the subscription. It was a itsy bitsy teeny yellow pussy bikini. Oh, there's lots. I've been doing lots of colours, mate. I've done about 10 colours so far. That's peanut butter, and you can see how intense the colour is. It's all very dilute. Just doing lots of little tints and shades at the moment, mate. Yeah, indeed, just like a filter. So I try to remember to show people how intense the colour is and what colours I'm doing and stuff. But when I'm in my flow, I just go. So what I'm doing in this now is a dilute purple. We are culturally backward. Especially in Brisbane, we only got electricity about 6 months ago. Light teal. Achillean green contrast paint. Do it, son. Spend all the money. Get it done. Dark sea blue and black. Chimera magenta. Tell you what, time just flies. Like, I've been painting for about 2 hours. Absolutely loving it. Have had no idea that 2 hours have gone by. Nah, I have a day job, mate. It's just the weekend for me at the moment. Just for fun. See you, Lopez. Have fun at church. G'day, Dominican and Dodo. I'm glad you got to catch a live stream, champion. Xtab. Probably what I do is try to work on all of them concurrently. Like I'll put her down after today's stream, and not finish any element. Yeah, that was a varnish, just Droman. It was a matte varnish. Yeah, I won't do anything. I'll show. I won't do anything completely until I have all of the other models a little bit more progressed. This is the varnish. Okay. Ultra that. I probably won't be streaming all of them, mate, but I will stream a number of them. No, I'll probably going for about another hour, mate, I reckon. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, mate, but hopefully I can provide some small comfort. Sounds like a lot of firsts, mate. First 3D print. Exciting. Good attitude, mate. Good attitude. Cthulhu, I would say there's only really one thing you need to know, and that is it is exactly the same, but you're dealing with bigger volumes, and so your blending will immediately get challenged. If you're not strong on doing smooth blends, you'll struggle to get convincing blends on a bigger piece. Very fun though, mate. You'll enjoy it very much. I'll think about it, Ray. I mean, the issue, mate, is that I just have a flow. I just paint when I feel like painting. You know, sometimes that's when I get home from work. Sometimes that's when I go before work. And so I don't want to feel like I can't just paint when I feel like painting, especially if it's only for an hour. I mean, it seems silly to just turn on a stream for an hour. I don't know, maybe that's something I could do. I had a mate that I used to do some paint days with, Gavin, and we still catch up every now and then for a paint. Very lucky in Australia that our COVID cases are quite low. Our government has a very proactive approach towards keeping it that way. Oh, half your luck, mate. I don't know if it's growing or if it's good night, Rumble. Thanks for joining the stream, champion. It's always been pretty. I mean, we've had a number of fantastic painters over many years. Sebastian Archer won Slayer Swords across the world, so he's sort of been around for a long time. But yeah, I think we've seen a few more competitions pop up. It's maybe made it a little bit more accessible for people to do display painting. Yeah, he does still paint. Yeah, I chat to him a fair bit actually. Old Sebi. He made a game called Twisted. He focuses more on his sculpting now, but he at last year's Crystal Dragon, he actually won Best in Show with a piece that he sculpted and painted himself purely for that competition. So yeah, he's still around, still kicking goals. Not normally, mate. Like that'll probably stay till tomorrow because it's got similar colours of what I want to use, but. Yeah, the Twisted models are great. It's Seb and one other dude who's, or Valentin and Zach. I think Patrick Masson did some for them as well. But yeah, they're awesome sculpts. Way too small though. Fucking told him, Seb, stop doing small shit, mate. I do paint 3D painted printed stuff, mate. And actually, this is a 3D print here. This is my Panther. It's a 3D print. Although I can see we have a nice little support there that I need to trim off, so that's good. That's another reason why you do that. Zenithal Prime. At the moment, I don't play any miniature games, no. I used to be pretty into miniature games. Why is the camera fucking struggling so much? Yeah, I used to be into some pretty serious competitive miniature gaming. War Machine, Guild Ball, Warhammer. But yeah, these days, I just play board games every week with my mates and have an awesome time with that. It's just probably more of a lifestyle thing for most of those guys. They don't have the same sort of time to invest in board games that we're used to. I could. I don't have kids. Spend all my days doing it if I wanted. Oh, great question, mate. I don't know. I don't think I've seen any. Could be a market there. for the 7 people that are in Australia. You've seen my sculpting skills. They are substandard. I shan't be sculpting a bunyip. Yeah, Games Workshop games are having a really strong renaissance in the last 2 to 3 years. AOS, I think we had a 200 and something player tournament for AOS at KenCon a year and a half ago. So yeah, it's going gangbusters. Really, X-Wing, cool. The colours I'm using, mate, are all made up. The book is not super heavy on detail about what characters are wearing, from my recollection anyway. Probably should go start reading the books actually, now that I'm doing this diorama from it. What's oofing, Topulus? What's going on? It's not done, mate, but we're making some good headway. G'day, Lupo. I play by my own rules. I pulled the brush hair out. G'day, Scandalo. 88. You're 5 years younger than me, you lucky duck. Unless that 88 is a random number. I do only use sables, yes. So we've got to be careful with the tones on this piece, because I've gone for very cold colours and it's very muted. There'll need to be little pops of colour like this. I think I need to make this skin tone a lot more warm, so just thinking about that at the moment. What releases? I don't know really. There's been so many good releases out there in the world recently. In this little toy soldier place. I like the look of the Rhino-Roja range. They're quite new and interesting. There's lots of cool models coming out. Yeah, a bit of Volupus Pink will help. The only issue with Volupus Pink is it is a smidge cold. Let me see. I was trying to find a specific colour and I got distracted by my panther. Where are you, fairy flesh? You piece of shit. I will fucking destroy you. Oh. Hiding away down the end like a dickhead. Oh, my friend, Housefire Hawk, I have a great book for you. I have a great book. The book is called Figone, Figipedia, Light and Colour. That's a book, I mean, it's specifically tailored to miniature painting. If you want to read a broader, more artistic observation around that topic, and there is a book by a guy called James Gurney, which is called Light and Colour. But I got more value out of the Figipedia one because it sort of stayed in my wheelhouse, my understanding of what I knew, painting and miniature painting. So that one had more impact on me. Figopedia, Light and Colour. Hey, Wamposaurus. That's it. That's the one. Hugely influential book in my painting. Haha. Thanks, Dominican. You haven't even seen me at my best, mate. Normally we've got people making me sing. I tell funny, inappropriate stories. But I'm trying to be on my best behaviour tonight. Today. Oh. To my knowledge, there is not a PDF version that is purchasable. No inappropriate stories today. For the moment. It's too early for me. Dinner after dark. Happens when we have the later streams. My nighttime streams, but hard to get into a huge flow of telling a great story at this time of day. Alright. I think I like that skin a bit more. It's popping a bit more, a little bit more colour. Well, you'll be able to, if you go back and watch the last two streams, the last two streams I've gone off with some stories. So, and they're both up on YouTube. And I'm sure the friends on the stream right now will confirm that they were pretty amusing. Yes, the first one was about a good friend of mine, James, and a wee trip we took overseas. And that one started at about the hour 20-minute mark, I think. And the next one was also about a friend of mine. Aha, Pete. PD. Is that the Kirill one? Yep. Really good book. Wouldn't recommend it for novice painters. It's probably got some value for those people, but it does heavily dive into some advanced stuff. And I think I would steer towards other ones before that one if you're relatively new. But if you are really looking to level up and you like reading a lot, then yeah, that one would be high on the list of my recommendations. And the reason I say that is because my eyes glazed over. I couldn't take it all in. Way too much happening in the book. I just ended up flipping pages and looking at pretty pictures by about 15 pages in. Oh, look, AK Interactive have a couple of other books that are sort of a little bit more beginner orientated, but Scale 75 do a couple of great books for new painters. It does depend though, like it depends what type of learner you are, because I don't learn an awful lot from books. Like I like reading them, and I like looking at them and stuff, the pictures. But I find it much easier to learn from watching someone do something and explain it. Yeah, so just pick yourself up or go watch some YouTube videos, mate. There's plenty of them out there that are really, really good, and will get you on the right track. And then when you feel a bit more confident, then you can maybe go and look at some of those more advanced ones and books like that. My apologies for that, mate. My apologies for that. Whee! Big Dano's so great. Alright, we'll be winding up soon, friends. But I'm very satisfied with my progress today, this afternoon, wherever you are. We're happy with this progress. I'm enjoying the colours. I'm enjoying the atmosphere. There's still quite a few areas that will need to be worked on. This piece is going to be something I'm going to push on a bit, try and make sure it's one of my better works. Oh, thanks CG Mini Painting, that's awesome of you, mate. G'day, mate. Yeah, so I'm just going to have a little look over here outside of the normal light. Yeah, I like that. The few things that are standing out, we need to add some. Hello, Miss Half Damage. We need to add some depth of contrast into the cloak. It's all a bit pastel right now. But yeah, we've made some good headway on the colours and the vibe. G'day, Jenny. yeah, we've made some good vibes, some good feelings around where everything is going. So the challenge now is to continue to refine and make sure it's all homogeneous and harmonised and has the right levels of contrast in the right areas. And then we need to replicate that across 5 other models. I don't like this blue. Don't like it at all. Better. Much better. Cool. I feel like that change just alone has helped the piece a lot. Alright, well, the next stream that I've got going on is Monday night my time, which for my European friends will be Monday morning, and for my American friends will be Sunday night at about 2 AM, apparently. So, feel free to join me if you would like. Would be great to see you. And if you decide not to join me, you're a dickhead. Caddy Bree, underway. No, it's 7 PM my time, so that's just the best time for me to paint, and I would love to see you. But if you can't make it, that's all okay, friends. I'll put everything on my YouTubes, and you can check it out then. Thank you, GM Lee. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I tend to be pretty quiet of a morning. Quiet, very private man. But yeah, like to catch up with my American friends. Let's check out who we're going to raid right now, friends. Who are we going to raid? Who are we going to raid? Who we got on? We got Wapelius. He's got enough fucking people there going on though. So let's find someone that's doing miniature painting. Miniature figures. Who we got going on? Nalind is doing something. Mohawk's still going with that same stream. Dude must be fucking tired, I tell you what. Absolutely cactus he would be. Painting some bikes. Kale Larson. Let's have a look at this one. Let's do it. I like the look of these bikes. And more importantly, I like the look of her background picture. Good for you, friends. Alright, mates. Friends. We shall raid! Stay fresh, cheese bags. Raid!
Oh my goodness, Big Dino